Hello everyone. So this is a video about Bunker 1 00 Agent, the 5th level on GoldenEye 007 on 00 Agent. And this is going to be a tutorial and explanation in encyclopedia on the current world record strategy and how to do it, and all the intricacies that go along with it. The current world record is 1 minute and 2 seconds, held by David Clemens and Perfect Ace. I have 103 with Mark Rutsu, and the next closest is 105 by Luke. The level is extremely complex. There's a lot to go over. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in this level, even more so than other levels in GoldenEye. It's probably the most complicated level in the game. So this video could take a while, but hopefully I will explain everything that goes along with the level and what to do in a sense to get 102. Now, you may or may not remember that in April of 2013 and March 2013, I spent 150 hours playing this level, improving my PB from 108 to 103 in the first 60 or so hours, and then going for 102 for another 90 or so hours. And unfortunately, I did not get 102, but at the same time, Perfect Ace did, and this is a video of his 102 right here. So I'll be using this video as well as some of mine and Clemens's to explain the level. Okay, so this video is one of my 103s. It's my 6th 103. I eventually got 9 of them in total. Now the level is basically split into 4 parts, and the first part is essentially get to Boris as soon as you can. And as you see, I'm running directly to Boris, and Boris stops and he puts his hands up. Now again, you're gonna want to watch the entirety of the opening cutscene in order to get a specific guard in the right place. And that guard almost needs to pull a grenade, and he does here. That's luck-based, it happens every 10 to 15 minutes, and there he is. See here, this guard is pulling at his chest, he's pulling out a grenade, and what this does is he will throw it, and it will blow up him and his friends, making the latter stage of the level a lot easier. Ace has actually done 2 102s, and one of them didn't have the grenade, but generally speaking, if you're going for a time with this strategy, you need that grenade pulled. You need to be extremely good and have way more luck come together than just a grenade pull if you're going to be able to get 102 with no grenade. So for all intents and purposes, you need that grenade. Now you'll notice here I shoot that guard a bunch of times beside Boris, and I get Boris to put his hands up. That's basically the first stage of this level. You need to get to Boris as soon as possible, have a grenade pulled, and have Boris put his hands up as soon as possible. A lot of people might ask, why aren't you doing certain objectives before going to Boris? And it's because the level's sort of set. Get to Boris is the first part of that set, and you need to do that as soon as possible. There's going to be time later to do all the objectives. Now is not the time. Now is about getting to Boris as fast as possible. So you'll see once more the first part of the level, watch the opening cutscene, get a grenade pull, shoot the guard beside Boris, have Boris put his hands up. A lot can go wrong. Guards can boost you in the wrong direction, they can get in your way, a lot can go wrong, but that's the first part of the level. The reason you want Boris to put his hands up is because that's sort of the first trigger for when he can start moving. The sooner he can do that, the faster it is, and obviously, therefore, the faster you can beat the entirety of the level. So the first objective, get to Boris, have a grenade pull, and do it as soon as you can. Now you're going to see a ton of very specific movement that all needs to go right, otherwise the run will fall apart. First, I need to kill this guard in the corner who I've just shot. At the same time, you're going to see the grenade, you're going to hear the grenade explode and kill a bunch of guards. I'm then going to back up into a pillar and shoot out a camera while Boris begins his movement. If I get in Boris's way in the slightest, he is not going to move the proper way. This is the beginning of the second part of the level, and this is the Boris running part. This is a strategy that was developed by David Clemens in 2007. And before, you would just escort Boris to the mainframes where he has to go complete an objective. But now the strategy involves doing a certain set of things that causes him to run to the mainframes. Now, the path which he chooses to run is sort of random, sort of set. Our motions affect the path he takes. but it's not guaranteed to get him to run the right way. It's a very, very tricky strategy to get the hang of, but it did ultimately take the record on this level down from 107 all the way to 102, so that's why it's used. And I'm going to explain my certain movements as you see them here. So I get Boris to talk to me, I make sure not to get in his way at all, I move over to the pillar, I shoot the camera out, then I move over to those metal crates, then I turn and look at Boris, and then I pause. You need to do exactly this, otherwise he's not going to run in the right direction. So it just takes a lot of practice. You know, guards who are still alive can boost you and shoot you out of the way, which will cause you to get boosted in a different spot. Boris won't run the right way. There's a lot of randomness, a lot of things that need to go right on top of your execution in order to pull this off. So again, at any point before now, if you've been boosted out of the way by a stray guard, some guard didn't die in the explosion, this can ruin everything. But what you're going to do now is you're going to unpause, you're going to take a picture of the screen with your camera. Then, if everything's gone right, Boris should be running the correct way to the mainframe doors. You're going to want to strafe over to that area and shoot your PP7 at him to get him to stop, to put his hands up again and get him to stop. Again, you need him to put his hands up as soon as possible and then get close enough to him where he'll talk to you. But you want to time it so that he's right outside the mainframe doors, maybe even opening up those doors, if you're really lucky. But if you strafe over there too fast, or you look the wrong direction, that can ruin everything as well. He might stop running, he might turn around, he might do all sorts of troll things. So you need to... It's all feel, it's all experience in getting Boris to stop right outside those doors. Okay, so now you'll see Boris is walking in these doors towards the mainframes. That's good. What you might not have picked up on is, as I ran over to Boris, I picked up a keycard. That keycard might or might not be in your path, and you can't detour from that path, otherwise Boris will stop running the right way. So you need to kind of hope that that guard's keycard is there, and it's in your way, so you pick it up. What that can do is it opens up this door, and you really, really want that card. You don't need it, but you want it. As you see here, I opened the door for Boris. That'll save a little bit of time. And also, you know, if he hasn't opened the door himself, you want to open it. It's not necessary, but it's helpful. And it's also helpful because you'll see in the next part of the level, that door can close on you. And if you don't have the key card, it ends the run because now you have to go find it before you open that door again. Boris can open it without a key card, but you can't. So you really want that key card. You also might have noticed that just before I started walking with Boris again, I kind of dipped down. I started to pause twice. And what that does is that is called the pause trick. If you pause 2 or 3 or more times on a level, it speeds up all later pauses. I'm going to have to pause twice more on this level, once for the key analyzer and once for the data thief. And now those pauses are sped up. And Boris is going to work at the mainframes for a little bit here. I have a few seconds to do a bunch of objectives, and even though the time is set, it's difficult to do all those objectives in the amount of time I have. And by doing that pause trick, my pauses take up less of that time, so I can use more of that time taking out the cameras, analyzing the keycard, and killing guards. So now there will be 2 or 3 guards in this room. You want to kill them as soon as possible and then pause for the key analyzer. During this time, Boris is going to walk to the mainframes. You can't leave too early, otherwise Boris won't go all the way to the mainframes, and he'll stop and run around, and that ends your run too. So you kind of need to stay close enough to him inside that room until he gets to the mainframes. Once his first text box comes up, then you're home free. You can start completing the objectives. So now begins the third part of this level, and that's doing the objectives while Boris is busy hacking the mainframe. Now, what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to take out 3 cameras, you're going to have to analyze the keycard, you're going to have to deal with all the guards who might be here, and then you have to pause for the data thief and get to the mainframe before he's done. Obviously, if you get there after he's done, you've now left a second or more later than you could potentially have, and that's no way to get a world record. You want to be at the mainframe with the data thief, waiting for him to finish hacking so you can leave the moment he's done. Now, an absolute ton can go wrong here. If I didn't get a grenade earlier on in the level, you would see 6 to 10 guards outside these doors, and that makes it close to impossible to do all of your objectives and get back on time, because they're shooting you, boosting you, you have to kill them. So that's why you need a grenade, to make this part even remotely doable. You have only a few set seconds, might be 18 or 20 seconds, to do all your things and get back to the mainframe in time. And you want to be at the mainframe, waiting until you hear this sound. And that's when you know you can leave, and so begins the final part of the level, the ending. So basically you want to press Z there at the mainframe with the data thief to complete the objective. It begins to complete the objective. You'll see objective D complete come up on screen in a few seconds. But as soon as you hear that sound, you press Z, now you can leave. You want to go to the ending and warp the door as quickly as you can. You want to avoid back boosts. You want to avoid getting stuck on the black guards who come out when the alarm is sounded, which happens no matter what. You can't prevent it. Boris hacking the mainframe does that. And you just want a clean ending, which unfortunately I did not get on this run. As you can see, I missed the warp here. That probably cost a full second. And I also got back boosted leaving the mainframe, which costs 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This run ended up being a 103, even with this ending, so the beginning was really, really great. It was 103, so with all those errors, I think 101 probably is possible, and this run maybe could have had a shot at 101. But you'll see here, 103 will come up, and this run was absolutely crushing. It was my 6th 103. It made me want to stop playing the level. I eventually kept going and I got 3 more 103s before finally stopping for the time being. But now I'm back and I want my revenge and I want to get 102. But again, to answer the question, is 101 possible? I think that run is a good example showing that it very, very well might be possible. Take out that back boost, give me a boost forward, and that's probably a difference of 0.7, and the door warp is probably almost a full second. So that's 1.5, 1.7 seconds, almost 2 seconds. So we'd say 101 probably is possible. As for 1 minute and 59, you know, I won't rule them out yet, but I don't see them happening with current knowledge. So yeah, I'll be happy with 102. 101 would be amazing. It would be an untied world record. I haven't done one of those since 2009. So I'm going to show you a couple more 102s from Clemens and Ace and explain what they do as the run's going, and we'll see from there. So this run is Clemens's 102. He actually got this time in January 2011. So 102 has been the world record for 3 years now. So you see he leaves everywhere quickly, he goes down the stairs, the guard pulls a grenade, he shoots this guard, and Boris puts his hands up. He kills this guard. Doesn't get in Boris's way, goes to the pillar, shoots the camera, goes to the metal crates, looks that direction, pauses, takes out the camera, takes a picture, doesn't go full speed yet, and then goes full speed, shoots, getting Boris' attention, tries to open the door, but doesn't because he doesn't have the key card. Kills these guards, and pauses for the key analyzer. Now you'll see he's going to have to be careful with that door because he didn't have the key card. So he kills these guards, throws the analyzed key away. If you just saw there, he opened and closed the door, resetting the timer on that door, so that way it wouldn't close on him. And he needs to do that, and he does it again, so it won't close on him again. You saw him take all the cameras and take care of the guards. Now he goes to the data thief to the mainframe. He gets there just in time to do the objective and leaves. Now, you'll see the guards are all here in a pile. That can happen. He does get through it and gets a boost. Oftentimes you won't get through it, you'll just get stuck there, so that's really hard to get around. But he does get through it, he gets a boost, which saves time. He warps the door successfully, and boom, 102. So that's a pretty textbook 102. That's what you need for 102. Now this is another one of my runs. It's actually a 102 that failed. I failed an objective. It'll exhibit a lot of things that can go wrong when playing this level. So I go out the doors, go down the stairs, I get the grenade pull, I shoot the guard, Boris puts his hands up, all good. Kill this guard, back up, don't get in Boris's way, go to the pillar, take out the first camera, and pause. Now, unfortunately, one of the guards didn't end up dying in the initial explosion, and you'll see he comes back to bite me in the ass in a little bit. So I stop Boris, I open the door for him, I do the quick pause a couple times, I take out these guards in the mainframe room, and then I will pause for the key analyzer. So all's good in the hood. I analyze the key, I take out these guards, and now here's where the problem arises. This black-hatted guard is still alive, and that's bad, because now there's 2 or 3 guards in this zone who are still alive. I'm going to pause here for the data thief, and now, unfortunately, you're going to see what's going to happen here in a moment. I try to analyze the key, but I get boosted behind the mainframes, and I miss using the data thief to complete Objective D. So now I've failed Objective D. I keep going. Obviously, I nail the door warp and go outside, and boom, it's a 102. That's life in GoldenEye. That's what happens. You know, I just got trolled by the mainframes and I couldn't complete the objective in time, and that's very, very typical of what happens to on this level. Now, this is the last run I'm going to show, and it's Ace's second 102. And he does not get a grenade on this level, which is very, very rare to complete 102, but he is Ace, he is the best player in the world, and you'll see what happens. It's a good demonstration as well as what you'll find if you don't get a grenade during the mainframe room and the objective completion over there. So you see Ace pauses for the camera, Boris runs, and everything looks decent except there's no grenade. You know, he stops. Boris actually runs in here, and this is actually faster. You could, in theory, get 1 minute this way, we believe. It's not as fast as it looks, but it's faster if he runs right in. It's super hard to pull off, though. But anyways, so now there's a lot of guards in the way. And when there are a lot of guards in the way, normally you don't get lucky enough to headshot all of them. And they troll you, and you cannot complete the cameras. So that's why you need the grenade, to get, so those guards aren't there, and this whole area is easier to deal with. It is still manageable with no grenade, but it's harder. And you'll see Ace gets back boosted there, and then boosted forward, nails the warp. It's still 102 even with the back boost because of Boris running directly into the mainframe room. But like I say, that's not consistent. This run is insane, and everyone knows it. But there's another 1 or 2. So all in all, that's Bunker 1 Double Agent. I hope that everyone understands now a little bit more about the level and what it takes to get 102 or lower. I plan on returning to this level to hopefully finally get 102 and you know, put the last stake in the heart of Boris. But we'll see what happens. You know, GoldenEye is unpredictable. A level this complicated, this complex, and with this many random elements, you can never be certain that you're going to get the record. So all we can do is try, hope for the best, never give up, and stay true. And yeah, hopefully this is a useful tutorial for anyone trying to learn Bunker 1 Double Agent with the Boris running strategy. So until next time, everyone, take care and stay true.